whether or not the Sasaki press conference would be available. I did see you mentioned either 6 or 7 teams. The thing that was noted, I believe, yesterday was sort of a confirmation, I think, that the Dodgers had actually met with him. So when we're talking about Sasaki, we're actually talking now the 2 New York teams, San Francisco and the Dodgers, and then obviously the Rangers. And do we know that San Diego has actually met with him?
I think they're believed to have, and then the Cubs also.
And the Cubs, okay.
Had an audience with them. So, that's 7. And you would have thought the Mariners. So maybe that just hasn't leaked yet. But it's not 30, and it never was going to be 30. It's a pretty small targeted number. I mean, he had to have an idea coming in, who and, the Rangers' presence in Japan, notwithstanding the visits from Ross Fenstermaker and Chris Young. They have Joe Furukawa, who's been over there forever and ever. Haji Watabe, who's a great guy and was Kaz Fukumori's the interpreter, really one of the first Japanese players that the Rangers signed. It wasn't very good as it turned out, but Darvish, of course, was the big deal. So it just and again, as much as these people on Twitter and guys like me want to think, connect the dots, nobody really knows. Nobody knows Rōki Sasaki very well, and what he wants. You can pinpoint things like his background. He didn't come from a big city. He's from the country in Japan. It's a 3-hour trip from Tokyo to get to his house. He's young. He has at times expressed a desire for more opportunity to develop as a pitcher. And, all these Japanese pitchers, unfortunately, or at least the vast majority of them, come over and get hurt. So, does he want to go to a club that has had success in rehabilitating guys? And really, Keith Meister is the Rangers team physician. He's one of the leading 2 guys in the world at rebuilding elbows. The other one is the Dodgers team doctor, Neil Elatrach. So, and he just did Carson Beck's elbow, the Georgia quarterback. So it's going to be interesting. Again, nobody really knows. Everybody thinks the Dodgers because of their willingness to spend money down the road on him, and of course with Ohtani and Yamamoto there, form a big 3 Japanese rotation with Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Sasaki. But he may not want that. So anyway, we'll see. But it's going to be drawing to an end. The international signing dead period ends January 15th, which is the day that teams will be signing all the players from Latin America. Clubs really want to know that day, hey, what's going to happen? Because they have agreements in place with players and prospects down there. Also, whoever signs them is going to commit all of their money or the vast majority of their money to Sasaki, and will have to back out of deals that they've already made. So some really good players are going to become available all of a sudden. And so, these clubs like the Rangers, for instance, they haven't committed all of their money to international players. They have about $2.5 million to play with. So, if he goes to the Padres, for instance, well, who's the Padres' top guy? Are they still going to be able to sign him? Well, if he becomes a free agent, the Rangers might swoop in, or the Cubs. There's going to be like a second wave of agreements just because of the Sasaki thing. Now, if the Rangers do get Sasaki, they will have to back out on some of their agreements that they've made, but they haven't made any big ones like that the last couple of years. So it won't be terribly penal. But again, the situation, unfortunately, no matter who signs them, some international prospects are going to be affected adversely by this.
Yeah, and you brought that up before, and my initial instinct was, oh, man, I feel bad for those kids. But what you just said is the reality. If the Rangers know about him, whoever he is, and they have him high on their list, well, if the Rangers get Sasaki, everybody else is going to go, oh man, we got to go grab that kid the ring.
Right.
So the kid's probably going to still get his opportunity.
Yeah, and teams are coming up with deals with guys that they have agreements with that are like, okay, if we sign Sasaki, you get $20,000. If we don't sign him, we'll give you $80,000. They're deals like that. So it's going to be a little bit messy on January 15th.
Yeah, and again, it's the 15th to the 23rd. To your point, Jeff, that teams want to know right away. But if he hasn't signed anywhere by the 23rd, which he will, then he goes back to Japan.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah,
that is not.
No. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that one taking place either.
We all silly like the mayor.